This is how I die. I have no knife with me. I have no pepper spray. I have nothing. It's just me and this goddamn dog. Oh boy. This one's gonna be a little bit more lighthearted. The last video I did was kind of really intense, I guess you can say.
Keep your voice down, please. Keep your voice down.
We're talking about pets today. Pets, dogs, cats, and such. When I first got here about 6 years ago, pet culture was not a thing. People viewed cats and dogs really almost like the way we would think of squirrels and deers back in Pennsylvania. I remember my first experience with dogs here. I was petrified. It was the first time I ever saw a real stray dog. I guess in the rest of the world, stray dogs and stray cats are more common. Where I grew up, it was not a thing.
Life in the suburbs has its good moments and others not so good.
So when I first got to here, I was living near Barigamutsun metro station, kind of near Gomitas Avenue, and the dogs up there are intense. So my first experience here with a street dog was horrifying, to say the least. When I first got here, I don't remember anyone saying that they had pets almost ever. I learned later that only a handful of people in Yerevan would have pets, and if they did, it was like a real show of luxury. I remember huskies. Huskies were like the only dog I would see on the streets being walked as a pet. And it was very far in between. Maybe once a weekend, if I would go out in Kenton, I would see somebody walking their dog. But it would be very funny because you would see like this big like macho man guy walking, and you're gonna think he has like this like gigantic like monstrous dog, and then it ends up being this like little teeny tiny like fucking chihuahua. There was this funny cultural thing about 6 years ago where mostly men, to be honest, they would get these like big leather like collars and the spikes and the choker like things that go under the neck, and they're trying to be like all like manly and like rough and tough and dangerous, but like this like tiny little like squeaky toy dog with like this like giant metal chain necklace. And I was like, all right, you're not fooling anybody. Fast forward 6 years now, pet ownership is so much more common. I don't want to say like every single person has a pet now, but cats and dogs are definitely more popular now than they were when I first got here 6 years ago. I have a few friends that own cats, and you see dogs being walked a lot now in Yerevan. It's really funny because pretty common that they are off their leash. In the States, I'm pretty sure in a lot of cities, it's illegal to have your dog off a leash when you're walking them. Maybe in like some parks or some beaches, it's okay. I find it very interesting that when a lot of people, when they take their dogs for walks, maybe it's because when I see them, it's mostly in the morning before work and it's less people are on the streets, but a lot of people let their dogs walk around the streets without leashes, which is like mind-blowing to me. When I was here 6 years ago, there was I don't want to know if it was called a problem, but the solution that they had for street dogs and cats is basically to kill them. Now, from what I understand, from what people have told me, is that they have done this whole like catch and release thing. Freeze! Where they catch the stray dogs, castrize, neuter, I don't know what the right word is. They cut their balls off, and they have tags. So if you're walking around the streets and you see a dog with a tag on, you know that they're neutered, and they were caught by the city at one point and then released back out. Cats, I'm sorry guys, if I have cat follower friends, or if you're viewing this and you like cats, I don't know what to tell you. I hate them. I don't know, I have a lot of friends that like cats. I don't really care about them. I care for the dogs more, probably. They're my dogs, they're my home dogs. So I don't know what they're doing with the cats, but I mean, like, I don't know, people leave food out for the cats all the time, and they like come crawling out of like cracks of the buildings. I'm not a fan, but if you like cats, cat culture is a thing. I remember when I was here 6 years ago, there was only one vet or one pet related store in the whole city. Now there's a few like pet stores. There's a few pet stores that you could buy accessories, food, blah, 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 blah. And also people are more pet friendly, whereas before, if you had a dog or if there's a cat anywhere near them, it was very viewed as like dirty and dangerous. And now people are a little bit more relaxed. If you are walking around, not in Kenton, so if you're a little bit more like in that like northern or southern part with the main roads, like Gomitas, for example, is known for like their vicious stray dogs. Here's a couple of pieces of advice. If the dog is by itself, you're pretty much fine. If you see two or more, be cautious. If they're together, that's a pack. I'm pretty sure that's the definition of a pack. So if you see two or more together, be aware. If they're sleeping or just chilling and laying down, you're fine. If you see them walking and or if they're going together somewhere, 2 or more,
Run.
avoid them. Go around the block, take a different street, or wait till they kind of pass. Because if they're 2 or more and they're en route to somewhere and they're on a mission,
I'm making copies. Move.
you don't want to go anywhere near. Actually, just 1 week ago, I was going for a run in the morning, super early, like 6:30 a.m. And I saw one dog on the street coming. I'm like, oh, no big deal, it's just one. So I didn't notice. And all of a sudden, I saw it crossing the street, coming toward me. I'm like, this is really weird. Then as I turned the corner, I saw 2 more. I'm like, I had no idea. And then it started like running at me. It started like bolting at me, like full on. So I'm like, I have no knife with me. I have no pepper spray. I have nothing. It's just me and this goddamn dog in the middle of the intersection. And this is how I die. I get mauled by a street dog. It could be worse, I guess. This is right in front of like the Grand Ani Hotel. So like probably people in their hotel rooms were watching me like about to die. But
you good? No, you're not. You're not, baby, and it's okay.
Whatever. His dog was chasing me. After we went about a half a block, of course, me, Speedy Gonzalez, was like losing ground on this dog. This dog was catching up to me really quick. About a half a block later, the other 2 dogs were going up the street, so it turned around and then went up. But I'm like, like, if I knew that those other 2 dogs were with him, I would have gone the other direction, but I didn't know until I turned the corner. I don't know how pet culture is like in other cities in Armenia. So like Gyumri or, I don't know, like Vanazor, Dilijan, their pet culture might be different, but this is one thing that I'm kind of happy to see in Yerevan, and maybe it'll spread elsewhere. I was thinking about fostering a dog, but since my living situation is kind of not permanent. Like for example, right now I'm in the Birthright Alumni House and I probably won't be here. I'll probably be leaving in like 2-3 weeks. So I have no idea what my next situation is like. But if I find a more permanent apartment that is dog friendly, I may possibly have fostering in the future. I don't know, we'll see. If you have any questions about dog or pet or cat or just animal culture in general, you can leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer to the best of my knowledge. Of course, this is just my experience, but definitely I can tell the culture change that has shifted in the last 6 years when it comes to pets. So if you have any questions about pets or pet culture here in Armenia, you can leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.